You are Locked On Syracuse, your daily podcast on the Syracuse Orange. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Number one, David Reese, an edge rusher from Cal. Fidil Diggs is gone. Fidil Diggs was one of, if not Syracuse's best defensive players a year ago. He was an edge rusher. He ran out of eligibility, and guess what? He was so good that he was picked in the 7th round of the NFL draft by the New Orleans Saints. And no, I am not saying that sarcastically. You have to be pretty damn good to be drafted into the NFL. So who is Fidil Diggs' replacement? Well, as of right now, it appears that it's going to be 8th-year senior. Yes, David Reese is entering his 8th year. That it's going to be him. He is going to be the replacement for Fidil Diggs. And here's the thing with David Reese. I don't necessarily think he's as good as Fidil Diggs, but I do think he could be average to above average for Syracuse this upcoming season because he has 11 sacks over the past 2 seasons, both of which came in a power conference. In 2023 at Cal, they were in the Pac-12. Pac-12 was still a thing in 2023, so he had 5.5 sacks there, and then he goes to the ACC with Cal, and he's got 4.5 sacks. David Reese, I think, is going to get a lot of playing time this offseason. I think he could be one of Syracuse's most impactful transfer additions for this upcoming year. Next up is Chris Peal, a corner from Georgia, a 2023 4-star recruit that was, you ready for it? Primarily recruited by Fran Brown. Now, for those that may have forgotten, it's okay. I'm here. This is Locked On Syracuse. Right? Fran Brown, before coming to Syracuse, was the defensive backs coach at Georgia and the #1 recruiter in the nation. So he was out doing a ton of visits, seeing high school kids when he was there at Georgia. He still does them, obviously, with Syracuse. So he was the primary recruiter for Chris Peal. Now, at Georgia, it's Georgia. He just didn't really see the field a whole lot. They are one of the top teams in the country in a year in and year out basis. They have 4- and 5-star talent across the board. But with Syracuse, he's going to have an opportunity for significant playing time. And I've brought it up before that Syracuse's cornerback room is very young and inexperienced. I didn't call it bad. I called it young and inexperienced. That doesn't mean bad. Again, okay? Demetrius Samuel, he might be the team's #1 corner. 4-star recruit, consensus. I get it. I think he might have I said on Friday that he's the most likely Syracuse player, in my opinion, to break out. I said that on Friday. He's going to be the team's #1 corner. He's a true freshman. Your second corner is true sophomore Davian Kerr. So Chris Peal, in my opinion, he might not project to be a starting corner right now, but I do think he's going to have a shot to earn significant playing time this upcoming season. Feel free to agree or disagree with me right now in the comments section below. I do think we are maybe sleeping on Chris Peal just because he didn't really play a whole lot over at Georgia. Now at Syracuse, he's going to get more of an opportunity for significant playing time. And then you got Tyshawn Russell, a South Carolina wide receiver. He's kind of like Jackson Meeks. Not necessarily in how they play wide receiver, but in terms of career arc heading into Syracuse. Now, it should be noted that Jackson Meeks was at Georgia for longer than Tyshawn Russell was at South Carolina. So Tyshawn Russell, I believe, has multiple years of eligibility. When Jackson Meeks came to Syracuse, he only had 1 more year of eligibility. But I do think there is potential for Tyshawn Russell to have that type of impact of Jackson Meeks from a year ago. Think about it this way. They were both 3-star recruits at SEC schools. No, these were not your blue chip recruits. These were 3-star guys. Russell was in 2023. Jackson Meeks was in 2021. Neither did a whole lot with their respective team. Jackson Meeks at Georgia was really just a depth guy. Tyshawn Russell, same deal. Jackson Meeks came to Syracuse on the outside looking in for significant playing time. Go back and rewind the tape from a year ago. Zeed Haynes, Mari Hatcher, and Justice Ross Simmons. It looked like those were going to be the top 3 wide receivers for Syracuse football. And then you can kind of start talking about a guy like Jackson Meeks. Well, I see something similar with Tyshawn Russell, because when you think about Syracuse's wide receivers for this upcoming season and who's going to get significant playing time, we can all expect that Darryl Gill will get significant playing time. Jonte Cook, obviously. Umari Hatcher and Justice Ross Simmons, they're still with Syracuse. So where does Tyshawn Russell fit in? Oh, by the way, you got 4-star wide receiver from last year, Emmanuel Ross, who is a breakout candidate for this team. It doesn't seem like Tyshawn Russell is going to see the field a whole lot, but he has been praised a lot by head coach Fran Brown. He has spoken very highly of him. And so that's why I think we might be sleeping on him. I don't necessarily believe that he's going to get significant playing time right away, but it could be a similar deal to Jackson Meeks, where Jackson Meeks didn't start seeing the field a whole lot until week 3. That was when Zeed Haynes just was out for the rest of the season with personal issues. Maybe that's something with, or maybe something similar can happen with a guy like Tyshawn Russell, where in the beginning of the season, he doesn't see the field a whole lot, but by week 3, week 4, maybe a receiver goes down, he gets on the field and does well.